All right, next up on our agenda is Matthew Miller. Matthew is our third vice chair. He's also city councilman, and he's probably one of the most outspoken members of our elected community. Good morning, Councilman. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm super fantastic. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being in the thick of things. Obviously, the city council led ahead of the county council, and I'm curious to hear how it went behind the scenes and what your impressions were.
So, for those of you that don't know, I'm in my fourth year of my first term on city council. And then, of course, this year was elected as third vice chair of the county party. I have been vocal about many things over the last 4 years, especially on social media, maybe a little more than some of my counterparts on city council. I don't know if it's my age and my adaptiveness to social media, but that, is a good thing, I think, to be more transparent about what's going on in the city. So last Thursday, or a week ago, this past Thursday, City Council decided to bring up either a resolution or an ordinance about masks. Resolution would have just strongly suggested masks. An ordinance, though, is more of a mandate and a law. It was an emergency meeting, and under state law, we can convene emergency meetings that don't include any public input at the actual meeting, but it is can be convened last minute, and in cases like we have right now. So we decided to do that. The ordinance that we did end up passing after much discussion is only good for 60 days from the date that it was enacted, which was last Monday, July 13th. So we will have to take this up again. We've discussed looking at it every 30 days as our staff, who's done a great job getting all this together, and our council have looked at it. We want to ask the medical community if they think it's working, or if something else needs to be done. Of course, everything is changing, and it has been changing since this started earlier this year. After we had our vote on Thursday, it was my understanding, I didn't think that county council was going to take anything up. They seemed to get some legal advice the same week that we decided that they weren't going to move forward with any ordinance. But they convened an emergency meeting this past Tuesday and decided to debate most of the same issues, and also hear from members of our local medical community, as we did as well. So they listened to our medical experts and our medical community, and they decided against an ordinance, which I have already spoken out against. Many of you may have seen that they also got a nice letter. Yeah.
I'm going to share a screen right now since you brought that up. This is a graphic that's circulating, no idea where it came from, but it shows pretty clearly, both for the City of Greenwood council members as well as the county council members, who voted for what on the mandatory face mask ordinance. So as you can see, in the City of Greenwood, it was pretty overwhelmingly in favor, with Ronnie Abels and Brandon Smith, our mayor, voting against it. Meanwhile, in Greenwood County, it looks like it was a little more evenly split, with I personally have to say, a surprising no vote from Melissa Spencer over in District 3. And that, in my opinion, that one vote could have made the difference. What are your thoughts?
Well, in this case, I don't know if Melissa's vote would have made a difference. It was surprising to me as well. But also Chuck Moats was surprising to me, as a lot of people that had reached out to him didn't really get any sort of response or even a statement about where he was leaning. But that since it's an emergency ordinance, it would have needed a 5-2 vote and we would have had to have gotten a vote from Mr. Allison, Mr. Lane, or Mr. Templeton to pass it. The resolution that passed only needed 4 votes, and that's why it, since it's not something that's really binding or law, it's easier to pass in an emergency session. They, on the other hand, may be pressured to take this up again. I would hope that they would reconsider as things continue to get worse. We had another 56 cases reported in Greenwood yesterday, and I don't personally see it getting better anytime soon. This is really just the beginning, I think, of what we're getting into. Right, well, for me personally, I just would like to say I didn't really have a hard decision listening to doctors and local medical professionals. It wasn't hard for me to see their pleads and make this decision.
Yeah, there was a very impassioned letter from the president and CEO of Self-Health Organization to the county council members, calling out those who voted against the mandatory mask ordinance in contrast and kind of in disregard to the medical profession's opinion on the matter. I could also recommend everybody go to our website. You'll see a copy of the text of that letter, as well as this graphic that we showed you earlier. And then we ask you to keep this in consideration on upcoming elections. And also, if you feel this inspires you to run for county or city council at some point in the future, please reach out to us, and we'll certainly help you through that process.
Definitely.
All right, Matthew, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.